If you're going to find a partner to work with, based on my experience, and I have partners all over the world now. In the early days, that relationship wasn't easy. So it's not easy to work with your other half. It wasn't a great experience. I think three things changed, which is what I teach as well. Our children couldn't believe some of the things that we had to go through in order for them to have the lifestyle they have now. And the best part of all, the thing that worked the most.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm well. Just come back from Taekwondo training with Grandmaster Nichols, 6 a.m. this morning, so feeling fresh.
Anyway, I think you were in Ghana for a few days and we had a wonderful time. But before we even go on, I would like to just introduce you again to the people, to everybody that's watching us in a very short term, in a very simplified way. So, Mac Attram is an award-winning entrepreneur. He's an international business coach. He's also a best-selling author. He's helped thousands of business owners turn chaos into clarity and consistent profits. But that's what really makes Mac different. It isn't just a success, it's a story. From struggling with debt and doubts to building multiple seven-figure companies, Mac has lived every lesson he teaches. Today, he's a trusted coach behind hundreds of thriving businesses across the UK, Africa, and Asia. He's guided ambitious founders to create wealth, freedom, and purpose through systems that actually work. When you learn from Mark, you're not just getting strategies, you're getting decades of experience, hard-won wisdom, and someone who genuinely cares about helping you win. And that has been my experience. So I really want everybody to know this, that it's not just about, us sitting down to talk about a topic, but it's about having a conversation with somebody that I know genuinely cares and genuinely cares about the people. I still have a recording that I made of you advising me, but somewhere in circa 2019, 2020, where you're talking about how to position yourself well as an African youth. But today I'm coming back to you as a same youth, whether I be in America, whether I be in Africa, whether I be in Europe or Asia. And the question is always, how did you, outside of the business strategies and everything, how did you change your mindset from somebody who was in debt to become a multi-millionaire? What was the thing that transformed you or changed the way you approached life that made that significant difference?
Excellent, thank you. It's a great question. There was a time when I was broke and struggling and heavily in debt, over 100 grand. What changed? I think three things changed, which is what I teach as well. One is my whole attitude had to change to business in terms of the way I approach business, the way I approach life. And when I say attitude, I remember that although I was struggling in my relationship, in my marriage, in my money, in my business, there was always a consistency, and that was martial arts training. I would always be doing my martial arts, and with my various teachers, instructors, I won various awards. London judo champion, UK taekwondo champion at a certain age, and I realized that I was excelling in martial arts, but not doing so well in life and business and money. And it was the attitude that I was putting into the other areas. I had no instructions, no coaches, no. So for me, changing my habits, changing my thinking, changing from thoughts of struggle to a place of thriving, that comes from habits. That comes from beliefs that I can rather than I can't. That comes from understanding how champions really do it. And I started modeling champions in business, in money, in athletics, developing that champion attitude and champion spirit. That helped a lot. The second thing is that from being broke to becoming a multimillionaire, I had to decide what vehicles or business models or investment opportunities I was going to follow. And so for me, it became very clear that although I was running this first business, I wasn't really passionate about it. It's a small IT company. My business partners had cheated on me, so I was losing all hope. around that. But I learned how to fix that and I sold it. And I started investing in real estate property, started investing in other businesses, built up an education company. So what I say to people, whatever you're trying to do, decide what vehicle is going to get you there the quickest. What vehicle is going to help you to get there? Once you decide what vehicle, what business model, what investment opportunity is going to help you to get where you want, then the third thing I did is started thinking about what knowledge do I need to acquire in order to really succeed in this thing. So in Taekwondo, in martial arts, if I wanted to win the championships, I had to acquire the right knowledge, or how to defend myself, how to move, how to speed, how to accelerate, how to cut back, when to punch, when. So I had to get, so same as in business, same as in money. What is the knowledge? I went and studied. I went to so many seminars, so many workshops. I started reading books avidly, crazily, just implementing things I was learning. And the best part of all, the thing that worked the most was having coaches and mentors around me. Now, coaches and mentors, there are a difference between the two. A coach will hold you accountable, will support you, will push you. That's a coach. A mentor, you can ask questions, they'll tell you their reality and the way they would approach it. But the rest of it is down to you. They're not necessarily going to push you or hold you accountable to that. So those three things, I think, is paramount to how I started to change from my situation, which was down, to a place of thriving.
So let's go back a bit. I mean, and this is a conversation that when you were in Ghana, you had with the, I would say with the Association of Gen Zs, and they loved it. The interaction was beautiful, and right. I think that they're asking for a similar thing come December, which you've promised to be here. So we're looking forward to that. But let's go back to it a bit. When you were sharing with us, you made mention of the difficult time where you had to build a business with your wife and what you guys went through. And the major question that came right after that, I mean, right after we dropped you off and we're like, okay, cool. Guys, what did you make of the conversation was, what has been the use of partnership in your life, whether it be marriage, whether it be friends, because in one instance, you were cheated on by your business partners. In another instance, you were being built up or your wife was helping you build this business. So what has been the use of partnership in the journey of becoming who you are now?
It's a great question about partnerships. You can have various partnerships. And yes, you're absolutely right. My first experience of a partnership in business it didn't end too well and almost made me bankrupt when my two business partners cheated on the business. Almost made me bankrupt, but I got some support. I fixed my business, later on sold that business. And so I was very hesitant, always very hesitant in getting into any partnerships. And there's two types of partnerships for me. One is my intimate relationships type partnership and business commerce partnerships. And so I have a deep partnership with my wife, who's my business partner in the businesses that we own. And in the early days, that relationship wasn't easy. So it's not easy to work with your other half, your wife, your spouse, your husband. It's not so easy. And in the early days of building our real estate, multi-million-pound real estate business, my wife is very detailed, and doesn't miss a trick. Cross the T's, dot the I's. But I'm more visionary. This is what it's going to look like. This is where we're going. This is what's going to happen. And so there was always disagreements. And later on, I came across not a personality test, a wealth test. It's called wealth dynamics. And so what we realized is we realized what her wealth dynamic, her personality is. And so what mine was. And so when we realized that, she started playing to her strengths and I started playing to my strengths. So I will do the deals, meet the people, close the deal. She will then take over. She will deal with the lawyers. She will deal with the tenancies. She'll deal with all of that. So that was a good thing we went through to assess where we play, which game we play. and how we played. It's like a football match. She plays this position, I plays this position, and if everyone's playing the right positions, then we have the opportunity to win the game. But before that, it wasn't so easy. Now, there was the part you're talking about was when we had the opportunity to acquire a lot of real estate, multi-million pounds worth of real estate, stage by stage. At one point, we were using no money down strategies. We were acquiring 2 to 3 properties a month. Now, this is a time when money wasn't so good for us. I was still heavily in debt, trying to pay my debt. And when we acquire each property, we have to now prepare the place. And I didn't have money to pay painters and decorators and all this kind of stuff. So my wife and I would go in after we got the property. And in those days, our firstborn was around 4 years old. And then our secondborn was just born. So probably 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. And sometimes we're going to these places and it's dirty, filthy, but we've got to do it. And my wife's got to breastfeed and she'll put a rug on the floor, leave the baby Destiny in a baby chair, and she'll cry every few minutes. My wife would feed her, then come back and do the curtains. And we run around getting these places done because we had no choice. If we didn't do it and we didn't get tenants in there very quickly, the very next few weeks, we've got to pay the mortgage with money we haven't got. And so the mortgage has to be paid. So we need those tenants in. So we were doing whatever we could to make that happen. And it wasn't a great experience. I share this with my children. We shared this with our children a few years ago. And our children couldn't believe some of the things that we had to go through in order for them to have the lifestyle they have now. It is. So working with partners, I want to add one more point there, because working with my wife has become easier over time because she knows how I operate. I know how she operates. She has her team, I have my team. We do things together. If you're going to find a partner to work with, based on my experience, and I have partners all over the world now. I do international tours, international speaking, international business. I have partners all over the world. And what I've realized is this: choose your partners carefully. Now, if you cannot stand spending a day with this person, don't partner with them. So go to dinner, go to lunch with them, have coffee, have tea, see how they treat other people. Get to see and understand their values. Do they match your values? Because in my first partnerships, my 2 business partners, I realized later on, I was just chasing the money. And our values, we didn't have shared values. They thought differently, they did things differently, and I had an intuition that something wasn't right, but I didn't listen to my intuition. How do you know when to give up in business and do something else? Maybe, just maybe, if it's not working for you, maybe it's your marketing or your inability to sell or convince or persuade someone. And this is the top skill that every single entrepreneur, whether you like it or not, if you're in business, you have to have this skill. Is there a demand for it in the marketplace? But the best skill you can have in business